When a convicted criminal is given a life sentence, it is usually a somber and serious moment in the courtroom.
Has to count 4.
However, there have been instances in which the reaction of the convicted individual has been anything but typical, from tears to stoicism, and even to instances of defiance. The response of those receiving a life sentence can be unpredictable and often shocking. One of the most well-known examples of a bizarre reaction to a life sentence is that of Jodi Arias.
Verdict.
Yes.
Juror number 9, is this your true verdict?
In 2012, Arias was convicted of the brutal murder of her ex-boyfriend, Travis Alexander. Throughout her trial, Arias maintained her innocence, and upon receiving her life sentence, she broke down in tears.
Number 3, is this your true verdict? Yes.
Despite her emotional reaction, Arias continued to proclaim her innocence even after her sentencing.
Verdict in a crime that shocked the nation.
Another example of a shocking reaction to a life sentence is that of Dylan Roof. In 2016, Roof was sentenced to death for the murder of 9 African-American worshipers at a Charleston, South Carolina church. During his sentencing, Roof showed no remorse for his actions and stated that he felt he had to carry out the killings in order to protect his people.
Somebody had to do something.
Roof's cold and indifferent reaction to the deaths of 9 innocent individuals was deeply disturbing to those affected by his crimes. In 2019, former NFL player Hernandez was found hanged in his prison cell while serving a life sentence for the murder of Odin Lloyd.
Guilty of murder in the first degree.
A Patriot star was discovered dead in his cell.
Hernandez's death was ruled a suicide, but some have questioned the circumstances surrounding his death. Hernandez, who was considered a rising star in the NFL, had a bright future ahead of him before his conviction. His death added another layer of tragedy to the already sad story.
It does one story.
Esteban was sentenced to a life in prison without parole for killing a police officer on duty back in 2005. It was when 2 police officers were questioning him regarding stabbing an 85-year-old woman. One of the policemen went out to grab some coffee, and taking this opportunity, Esteban knocked down the other police officer and eventually killed him. He then jumped out of the window before getting caught after an hour. He was brought to the court with a mask that prevents him spitting on anyone, considering his abusive nature. Anthony was already on parole when he kidnapped and sexually assaulted a 25-year-old woman. He was previously detained by the police for causing violence, but this time Anthony crossed all the lines. Anthony showed no remorse throughout the hearing, but was seen crying when the judge handed him a 25-year life imprisonment. He had an exchange of words with the judge and called the ruling unfair. Her mother also said that his son doesn't deserve such harsh treatment. In conclusion, the reactions of convicts receiving a life sentence can be as varied as the crimes that led to their convictions. From tears to stoicism and even to instances of defiance, the response of those receiving a life sentence can be unpredictable and often shocking. The criminal justice system may hand down a punishment, but it cannot control the reaction of the convicted, which in some cases can be just as disturbing as the crime itself. That's all for today's video. See you next time, folks!